Hello everyone, I just want to do a quick video tonight. I'm out on my patio before it gets too dark. I have my candle and it's a little chilly, so I gotta make this fast. But I wanted to talk about a video that Alex Sharamet did on his channel, Automachination. He does an analysis of my poem Moth Lost in a Laboratory, coupled with Elizabeth Bishop's villanelle One Art, and they're both villanelles, and he goes into a lot of depth and thought about the poem, and that poem actually can be purchased in my collection here, Word Shapes. And I just wanted to give a little bit of background about that poem. I wrote that poem, here it is, right here, Moth Lost in a Laboratory. So I wrote this poem in 2001. I was 25 at the time, and when I wrote this poem, it was more of an exercise. I didn't think anything of that it would really make any difference or matter. I was working in Minneapolis at the time at a laboratory, and it's actually a well-known laboratory. Not that anyone here would care, but I wasn't very happy at my job and where I lived, and I was walking, I would have to walk a long distance to like go to the bathroom or the break room or whatever, and I would pass, just these areas, these open areas, and one day as I was walking, I looked down and there was this little moth, this little like gray brownish moth just flickering about, not very large, but just flickering around, and I saw this moth just spiraling, and I remember thinking, wow, that moth is trapped in here. That moth, he couldn't get out even if he tried. He's lost in the laboratory, and if he doesn't get out, he'll die. I mean, there's nothing I could do because I was nowhere near a window, but I remember just seeing that flickering and the little kind of circular motion, and I said, okay, well, maybe that warrants a poem. So I always had planned to write a villanelle, and of course, the most famous villanelle is probably Dylan Thomas's "Do Not Go Gentle into This Good Night," and I used that villanelle as kind of a template, just to get a feel for the form. And so I came up with the opening lines of this poem, which I will read for you. I won't read the whole poem because I want you to visit the link, but it's Moth Lost in a Laboratory begins with, "A beauty circumvents that which beguiles, swarmed such creatures willful sounded plight, freeze into moth, substance of the spiral." Now, they say, one of the things has been said about villanelles is that they are easy to write, but difficult to write well. So finding a topic that warrants a kind of circular, repetitious motion, one, you have to come up with phraseology that is worth repeating, that would be pleasant to hear again, or is interesting enough to be repeated. And also, the subject matter is, thinking of a circular motion. I thought of, like I said, this moth trapped, an animal trapped in something. I do kind of apply the same logic when I write the longer sestina I have called From the Box of the Zoo Fox, which is also in this collection. Again, about a creature or an animal that is trapped within a kind of enclosure, and the form itself kind of serves as that entrapment. So when I wrote this poem, Moth Lost in a Laboratory, it's not something that I thought was anything dynamite or anything that was great or not great at the time. I remember just writing it, and I viewed it as an exercise, and it actually sat on my desk for 2 months before I showed it or anything like that, and I didn't think anything of it. And then finally, I kind of just shared it, and I didn't realize that people from over the years have contacted me so much about this poem. Like, they don't give a shit about most anything else I write, but for some reason they just love this poem. I mean, I had this woman who was very critical of a lot of my early creative work because she was one of these, grammar Nazi types, and she didn't like pathetic fallacy. And the stuff she published in her zine was garbage, by the way, and cliches. She liked cliches, but for some reason she just loved my Moth poem. Why, I don't know. But basically, even those who wouldn't be attracted to my writing seem to be drawn to this poem. And even those who were not drawn to my poetry were drawn to this poem. So I can't explain that. I don't know why some things work and some don't. But Alex Sharamet does an excellent job in analyzing it and breaking it down, and he does it alongside Elizabeth Bishop's One Art, and hers is The Art of Losing Isn't Hard to Master. That's one of the lines in her poem. And anyway, I encourage you to check that out. And this is, the book that the poem can be found in. Other than that, I'm just on a Saturday night. I'm just me. This is me in a pandemic. I don't care. And I'll have more, maybe more insights to share in time. Definitely about the end of this crappy year, which this year I've finished my Joan of Arc novella, which took me a long time to write, even though it's not a long word count. It just took me a long time to write. And it's a very rewarding experience, but it also exhausts me. And then I sit here and say, I gotta think of my next project. So that's where I am right now. And so anyway, I will share that link, and I appreciate if you would give it a listen and check out my poetry collection or my book page, where I have other works, and the recent short story collection I released. It's an older collection, can give some insights into the creative process and things like that. So, and one last point, just to follow up, this is Kiberia. Kiberia is a 4-wing 3. Kiberia is the little baby who likes to be protected, and Dolce is the 8-wing 7 who likes to protect. And Kiberia does the little push-pull thing, and she'll come out, and you'll want to come after her, and she runs and hides. And then she's like, don't you want to chase me? And then she'll come out again. She's like, but I'm here. Don't you want to follow me? Don't you want to chase me? And she's very well aware of her cuteness, hence the 3-wing. So, see, I can't even grab her because she's going inside. See, she's hard to get hold of. She's a 4, but she's very sweet. And I'll wake up sometimes and she'll kiss my face. So, Kiberia, very much a heart type. She's a very good girl. And Kiberia. Oh, can't do it. Yep, she came by me. See? She came right by my feet and she's just running away. Anyway, that's all I got for right now. Hope you have a pleasant new year. I will be in touch until then. And that's all I got. Thanks for listening.